Commander Jake Miller stood frozen at his control station on Mars base. Red warning lights flashed across the screens in front of him. One by one, the signals from Earth's outer colonies went dark. First Titan, then Europa, followed by the mining outposts on the asteroid belt. All gone in less than 6 hours. "Sir, we've lost contact with New Eden colony on Ganymede," said Lieutenant Ryan Davis, his voice shaking. Jake closed his eyes for a moment. New Eden had over 15,000 people. His sister and her family lived there. "Any distress signals?" he asked, already knowing the answer. "None, sir. Just silence." The room fell quiet except for the constant beeping of alert systems. Mars base, once a busy hub of activity, now felt like a tomb. Jake looked at the faces of his crew. 20 men and women who now realized they were next. The main screen flickered to life. Admiral Susan Wright's face appeared, her gray hair pulled back tightly, and her eyes hard with worry. "Commander Miller, status report." "Admiral, we've lost all outer colonies. No survivors reporting. Enemy ships are moving fast toward Mars. Our sensors show at least 30 vessels, all larger than anything we have." Susan nodded slowly. "We're seeing the same thing from Earth. The Arvanian ships came out of nowhere. Their technology." She paused. "Their shields absorb our strongest weapons like they're nothing." Jake looked at the tactical display. The alien ships moved with perfect precision, like a school of deadly fish. "Orders. Admiral, evacuate Mars base immediately. Get your people to the emergency shuttles and head to Earth. We're consolidating our forces for a last stand." The words "last stand" hung in the air like a bad smell. "What about the civilians on Mars?" Jake asked. Susan's face showed pain. "We're sending all available transport ships, but..." She didn't finish the sentence. They both knew there weren't enough ships to save everyone. Jake nodded. "Understood. We'll hold them off as long as we can to cover the evacuation." After the Admiral's face disappeared from the screen, Jake turned to his crew. "You heard her. Lieutenant Davis, sound the evacuation alarm. Captain Bell, coordinate with civilian authorities. Everyone else, prepare battle stations." Mars base only had 6 defense turrets and a small shield generator. Against the Arvanian fleet, they would last minutes at best. On the main viewing screen, Jake could now see the approaching ships. They were beautiful in a terrifying way. Sleek dark vessels with glowing blue patterns across their hulls. The largest was shaped like a curved blade, big enough to cast a shadow over an entire city. From the flagship of Earth's Defense Force, Admiral Susan Wright watched similar scenes playing out across the solar system. The Arvanian Empire had appeared just 3 days ago, sending a simple message in perfect English. "Your resources belong to us now." Then the attacks began. The Orion Asterisk, Earth's most powerful warship, shook as another blast hit its shields. Susan steadied herself against her command chair. "Shields at 42%, called out the weapons officer. "Our missiles aren't even denting their defenses." Susan watched the tactical display as more Earth ships winked out of existence. The bitter taste of defeat filled her mouth. Humanity had reached the stars only to find they were hopelessly outmatched. Her communication officer turned with wide eyes. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the Arvanian command ship." The main screen changed to show an alien face. It had gray-blue skin, 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern, and no visible nose. When it spoke, its thin lips barely moved. "I am Fleet Admiral Zex Terrell of the Arvanian Empire. Your resistance is both pointless and annoying. You have 72 hours to surrender Earth and all colonies. After that, we will take what we want and leave nothing alive." The transmission cut off before Susan could respond. Deep beneath the surface of Earth's moon, in a facility that didn't exist on any official record, Chief Engineer Olivia Barnes received an encrypted message from Earth Command. She read it once, then again to be sure. "It's time," she told her team, her heart racing. They're activating Protocol Thunderchild. Her assistant looked up in shock. Already? But the Dreadnoughts haven't completed final testing. Olivia walked to the main control panel and placed her palm on the scanner. We just ran out of time. Earth is falling. It's now or never. 5 years earlier, in an underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Captain Frank Cooper walked through a massive door that required 3 separate security checks. The room beyond was filled with the brightest minds Earth had to offer. Scientists and military officers worked side by side at stations filled with equipment that looked like it came from the future. Frank approached a woman hunched over a glowing display. Her dark hair was tied back messily, and she hadn't looked up when he entered. "Dr. Patel, any progress?" he asked. Dr. Lisa Patel finally looked up, her eyes tired but excited. "We did it, Captain. The gravity manipulation field worked in the test chamber. We compressed a 1-ton steel block until it was the size of a pea." Frank tried to hide his surprise. "And the energy requirements?" "Still high, but nothing our new fusion reactors can't handle," she replied, pointing to another screen showing complex calculations. "If we scale this up, we could create weapons that don't just damage enemy ships. They could crush them into nothing." Frank nodded slowly. "The President will be pleased. After those Arvanian scout ships were spotted near Jupiter last year, he's been pushing for something that could give us an edge." Lisa stood up, stretching her back. "This is more than an edge, Captain. This changes everything we know about space warfare." Across the room, Major John Kelly was working with a team of engineers around a large table displaying a holographic ship design. The vessel was unlike anything Earth had built before. Massive, shaped like a flattened diamond, with strange bulges where conventional weapons would be. "The problem with traditional space combat," John explained to the team, "is that we think in terms of naval warfare, broadsides, forward guns, defensive positions. But with gravitational weapons and dimensional shields, we need to think differently." He gestured at the hologram, and it changed to show 6 massive ships, each slightly different in design. The Dreadnoughts will operate as a unit when possible, but each will have specialized capabilities. Leviathan will focus on offensive gravity weapons. Behemoth will have the strongest dimensional shields. Titan and Colossus will work in tandem for pincer maneuvers. Guggernaut will specialize in phase shifting for surprise attacks, and Goliath will have enhanced sensor arrays to detect weaknesses. Frank joined the group at the table. "Where exactly are we building vessels this size? There's no way we could hide construction from civilian or alien eyes." John smiled. "That's the beauty of it. We're not building them here. Dr. Chen's team has created a dimensional pocket within Neptune's atmosphere. The construction is happening literally in another dimension, folded into space where no one can observe it." "And the pilots?" Frank asked. John's smile faded. "That's the hard part. Conventional controls would be too slow. We're developing a neural link system. The pilot becomes the ship, feeling and controlling it like it's their own body." "Is that even safe?" Frank asked, concerned. "We don't know yet," John admitted, "but we have volunteers ready to try when the time comes." In another section of the facility, engineers were testing materials that seemed to bend the laws of physics. Some absorbed energy, others reflected it back, and some made light bend around them, creating partial invisibility. The project, codenamed Thunderchild, remained Earth's best-kept secret. While the public was told about regular advancements in space technology, no one outside this facility knew that humanity was preparing for a war that might come at any moment. Frank walked over to a window overlooking the largest chamber in the facility. Below, hundreds of workers assembled components that would eventually be transported to the Neptune construction site through special dimensional gates. "How long until the first Dreadnought is operational?" he asked a nearby technician. "At current rates, 3 years for Leviathan *. The others will follow 6 months apart after that." Frank nodded, hoping it would be enough time. The Arvanian scouts hadn't seemed hostile, but Earth couldn't take chances. If the aliens ever returned in force, humanity would be ready with a surprise of its own. Little did they know that in 5 years, that day would come, and Earth's survival would depend on the massive ships they were building in secret. Lieutenant Amy Powell pressed herself against the cold metal wall of the Arvanian command post on Europa. Her team of 6 soldiers waited silently behind her, their breath visible in the thin atmosphere their suits maintained. They had spent 3 days hiding in the shadows of the moon's icy surface, watching the aliens build their base with frightening speed. "Remind me why we're doing this instead of running for our lives," whispered Sergeant Carl Watson, the team's communications expert. Amy checked her oxygen levels before answering. "Because we need to know what they're planning. If Earth is going to have any chance at all, we need information." The team had witnessed the fall of Europa Colony 2 days earlier. The Arvanians had not killed everyone. They had taken hundreds of humans alive. No one knew why. "There's a data terminal in the north section," Amy said. "The aliens change shifts in 5 minutes. That gives us a small window to get in, hack their systems, and get out." When the time came, Amy led her team through the shadows toward the lightly guarded terminal. 2 Arvanian soldiers stood nearby, their 4 eyes scanning the area slowly. They were tall, nearly 7 feet, with blue-gray skin that seemed to shimmer under the lights. Their armor looked like it was made of liquid metal that moved slightly with each breath. Sergeant Watson aimed his rifle. The weapon had been modified to dampen its sound. 2 quick shots, and the guards fell without making a noise. "We have maybe 10 minutes before they're discovered," Amy said. "Work fast." Technical specialist Ben Alvarez connected his device to the alien terminal. His fingers flew over his tablet as he tried to make sense of the Arvanian data system. "It's not like anything I've seen before," he muttered. "But there are patterns. Wait." His eyes widened. "I'm in." The team gathered around as alien text and images appeared on his screen. The translation software struggled but managed to convert some of it. "They're planning to harvest Earth's oceans," Ben said in horror, "and the atmosphere. They don't want to colonize. They want to strip the planet bare and take the resources." Amy's blood ran cold. "What about the people they've captured?" Ben scrolled through more data. "Test subjects. They're studying human biology to determine if we have any useful genetic material before they dispose of us." Amy downloaded everything they could access. As they prepared to leave, an alarm suddenly blared through the base. "We've been spotted," she said. "New plan: fight our way to the shuttle." Back on Earth, General William Taylor stood in the Global Defense Command Center beneath Denver. Maps showed the positions of Arvanian ships across the solar system. Red dots outnumbered blue by 10 to 1, and more red dots appeared every hour. "Launch the missiles from Lunar Base 3, he ordered. "Then immediately evacuate the personnel to Lunar Base 6. His second-in-command, Colonel Natalie Lewis, looked confused. "Sir, those missiles won't even dent their shields, and Lunar Base 3 has our best position for." "I know, Colonel," William interrupted, "but we need them to think that's our best defensive position. Each battle we fight has a purpose." Natalie's eyes widened with understanding. "Protocol Thunderchild. These aren't real counterattacks. They're a delay tactic." William nodded grimly. "Every minute we buy is another minute for the Dreadnoughts to be activated. Chief Engineer Barnes needs exactly 49 more hours." On the screens, they watched as Earth missiles launched toward an Arvanian cruiser. As expected, they exploded harmlessly against its shields. The alien ship turned and fired, destroying Lunar Base 3 in seconds. Meanwhile, in cities across Earth, Director Karen Mitchell of the Global Emergency Response Agency coordinated the largest evacuation in human history. Millions of people moved into vast underground shelters built over the past 5 years under the guise of subway expansions and civil defense exercises. "Get everyone below ground," she instructed her team. "Priority to children and medical patients. Use everything that moves, buses, trains, private vehicles. As she spoke, the sky above New York darkened. On the monitors, she saw the same happening over Beijing, London, Cairo, and a dozen other major cities. Massive Arvanian ships had entered Earth's atmosphere, positioning themselves over population centers. The countdown to humanity's last stand had begun. But unknown to the Arvanians, Earth's secret weapon was nearly ready. The lunar facility hummed with activity as Chief Engineer Olivia Barnes worked frantically at her main console. Sweat beaded on her forehead despite the cold temperature. Around her, dozens of engineers and technicians monitored systems that controlled Earth's last hope. "Begin final activation sequence," Olivia ordered. Her voice was steady despite her racing heart. Deep beneath the lunar surface, in 6 enormous chambers, the Dreadnoughts waited. Each was larger than any ship humans had ever built, nearly a mile long and half a mile wide. Their dark hulls absorbed light, making them look like holes cut in reality itself. "Power levels rising in all 6 vessels," reported Alan Foster, Olivia's assistant. "Dimensional anchors holding steady." Olivia nodded. "Start the neural link preparation. Bring in the pilots." 6 men and women entered the control room. They wore special suits covered in sensors and neural connectors. Each had volunteered for a role that might kill them, or change them forever. Commander Paul Scott would pilot Leviathan *. He was a tall man with a stern face and 20 years of space combat experience. Major Samantha Clark, a brilliant tactician with piercing blue eyes, would control Behemoth *. Captain Daniel White, known for his lightning reflexes, was assigned to Titan *. Lieutenant Kate Garcia, the youngest of the group, would pilot Colossus *. Colonel Richard Hayes, a veteran of 3 space conflicts, would command Juggernaut *. And Captain Steve Peterson, with his encyclopedic knowledge of alien technology, would pilot Goliath *. "You all know the risks," Olivia told them. "Once the neural link is established, your minds will merge with the ship's AI systems. The process cannot be reversed." Paul stepped forward. "We've all made our peace with that. Earth is worth the sacrifice." The pilots were led to 6 separate chambers. Each contained a pod filled with a clear gel that would help establish the neural connection. In his chamber, Paul removed his outer clothes and stepped into the pod. The gel was cool against his skin. As the pod closed around him, needles extended from the sides, connecting to his nervous system. Pain shot through his body. Paul clenched his teeth to avoid screaming. His vision blurred, then suddenly expanded. He could see the entire chamber, then the whole facility, as if looking through 1,000 eyes at once. His mind stretched outward, connecting with Leviathan's systems. He felt the massive gravity weapons as if they were extensions of his arms. The ship's sensors became his eyes and ears, showing him space around the moon in all directions. All 6 pilots underwent the same transformation. In the control room, Olivia watched their vital signs. "Neural sync at 85% and climbing," Alan reported. "Brain patterns are stabilizing." One by one, the ship's systems came online. Gravity drives powered up, dimensional shields activated, and weapons systems prepared for combat. In space, Admiral Susan Wright was executing the final phase of Earth's delaying tactics. She had gathered the remains of humanity's conventional fleet, about 40 ships, near Saturn's rings. It was a desperate move that looked like Earth's last stand. "All ships, maintain formation," she ordered. "Make it look good. We need to draw as many Arvanian vessels as possible." The trap was set. Arvanian ships, numbering over 100, approached the human fleet. At their center was a massive blade-shaped vessel, Admiral Zexteral's flagship. The alien admiral watched the human fleet with all 4 of his eyes. His thin lips formed what passed for a smile among his kind. "Pathetic," he said to his bridge crew. "They gather their remaining ships for a final battle. Their courage is admirable, but pointless." He opened a channel to the Emperor of the Arvanian Empire. "My lord, Earth will be yours within hours. Their defenses are crumbling, and their final fleet awaits destruction near Saturn." The Emperor's holographic image nodded. "Excellent, Admiral. Finish them quickly. We need Earth's resources for the coming war with the Dorvan Collective." Zex Terrell bowed. "It will be done." Back at the lunar facility, Olivia received confirmation that all 6 neural links were complete. The pilots were now one with their ships. It was time. "Release dimensional anchors," she ordered. "Prepare for emergence." In the space around Neptune, where the Dreadnoughts had been hidden for years in their pocket dimension, reality began to ripple. The final phase of humanity's counterattack was about to begin. Admiral Zex Terrell watched with satisfaction as his fleet surrounded the remaining Earth ships near Saturn's rings. The human vessels looked small and weak compared to the Arvanian warships. His tactical screen showed that he had over 100 ships against their mere 40. "Begin the attack," he ordered. "Destroy them all." Bright beams of energy shot from the Arvanian ships. 3 Earth vessels exploded instantly. The others tried to fight back, their weapons flashing against the alien shields with little effect. Admiral Susan Wright stood on the bridge of the Orion *, watching her fleet being torn apart. She had positioned her ships carefully to make the battle last as long as possible. "Keep them focused on us," she told her crew. "Every minute counts." On her private screen, she could see a countdown timer. Just 15 more minutes until the Dreadnoughts were ready. She prayed her remaining ships could last that long. Near Neptune, space itself began to tear open. 6 massive rifts appeared, each large enough to swallow a small moon. From within these dimensional gateways, Earth's secret weapons emerged. First came the Leviathan *, its dark hull reflecting no light. Commander Paul Scott felt rather than saw his ship move into normal space. His mind was now one with the vessel. Every system, every weapon was an extension of his body. "This is Leviathan *, he said, his voice transmitting simultaneously to Earth Command and the other Dreadnoughts. "Neural link stable. Weapons online. Moving to attack position." One by one, the other 5 Dreadnoughts emerged. Behemoth *, Titan *, Colossus *, Juggernaut and Goliath *. Each was slightly different in design, but similar in their massive size and power. Major Samantha Clark felt the protective instinct of Behemoth * align with her own thoughts. "This is Behemoth *, shields at maximum, ready to defend the fleet." The 6 vessels moved with impossible speed for their size. Their gravity drives allowed them to accelerate without the limitations of conventional engines. Back at Saturn, another Earth ship exploded under Arvanian fire. "Sir," called one of Zex Terrell's officers, "we're detecting 6 large objects appearing near Neptune." The Admiral turned to his sensor screen. "What? Show me." As the images appeared, his 4 eyes widened in shock. "That's impossible. Those ships are larger than our heaviest cruisers. Where did they come from?" Before his officer could answer, the Leviathan * fired its main weapon. A concentrated beam of gravitational energy shot across space. When it hit an Arvanian heavy cruiser, the effect was unlike anything Zex Terrell had ever seen. The ship didn't explode. It collapsed inward, crushed by a force that bent space itself. The crushed remains created a small temporary black hole that swallowed 2 nearby Arvanian ships before dissipating. "What kind of weapon is that?" Zex Terrell demanded, true fear in his voice for the first time. On the Leviathan *, Paul Scott felt a grim satisfaction. "Gravitational distortion cannon functioning perfectly," he reported, moving to next target. The Titan and Colossus accelerated toward the right flank of the Arvanian fleet. Captain Daniel White and Lieutenant Kate Garcia worked in perfect coordination, their neural links allowing them to communicate faster than words. Executing pincer maneuver, Daniel reported as Titan fired its engines. The two dreadnoughts used their gravity drives to pull Saturn's rings apart, creating a deadly wave of ice and rock that tore through the Arvanian formation. Dozens of alien ships were damaged or destroyed by the debris. Admiral Susan Wright watched in awe as the tide of battle suddenly turned. "All remaining Earth ships, form up behind the dreadnoughts," she ordered. "Follow their lead." The Arvanian admiral frantically ordered his fleet to regroup. "Focus all fire on the largest enemy vessel," he commanded. His ships turned their weapons toward Behemoth *. Hundreds of energy beams struck the massive dreadnought's hull. But Major Clark activated her ship's quantum shields, which dispersed the energy across multiple dimensions. "Shields holding," she reported calmly. "They can't hurt us." For the first time since the war began, hope spread through the human forces. Earth had revealed its secret weapon, and the Arvanian fleet was now the one facing destruction. Admiral Zex Terrell pounded his fist on his command chair. His perfect victory was falling apart. 3 of his best cruisers were gone, crushed into nothing by the human dreadnought's gravity weapons. Dozens more ships were damaged or destroyed by the debris field created from Saturn's rings. "Order all ships to focus fire on their largest vessel," he commanded. "It must have a weakness." The Arvanian fleet adjusted their formation. Nearly 60 ships turned their weapons toward Behemoth *. The space around the massive dreadnought lit up as energy beams, and missiles struck from all directions. Inside Behemoth *, Major Samantha Clark felt each impact as if they were hitting her own body. The neural link made the ship an extension of herself, but she remained calm, directing the quantum shields to absorb and disperse the energy. "They're throwing everything at us," she reported to the other dreadnoughts. "Shields holding at 92%. I can keep this up all day." While the Arvanians focused on Behemoth *, the other dreadnoughts moved into position for a coordinated attack. Juggernaut *, under Colonel Richard Hayes' control, activated its dimensional phase technology. The massive ship seemed to flicker in and out of reality, appearing at multiple points in space simultaneously. Arvanian gunners couldn't track the vessel as it appeared and disappeared, striking multiple enemy ships before they could react. Richard felt the strange sensation of existing in several places at once, but his military training kept him focused on the mission. "This is Juggernaut *, he transmitted. "Phase jump successful. I've disabled 7 enemy vessels and am moving toward Earth orbit to engage their blockade forces." Captain Steve Peterson guided Goliath * alongside Juggernaut *. His ship's enhanced sensors mapped the Arvanian fleet, identifying critical weaknesses in their formation. "I'm detecting a pattern in their shield modulation," Steve reported. "Sending targeting data to all ships now. Hit them at these exact coordinates and frequencies for maximum damage." On Earth, the Arvanian ground forces suddenly lost contact with their orbital support. Colonel Hayes had positioned Juggernaut * in a low orbit, systematically destroying any alien ship trying to communicate with their troops below. In underground shelters across the planet, humans watched on emergency broadcasts as massive explosions lit up the sky. Many didn't understand what was happening, but they could sense the battle had shifted. Back near Saturn, Admiral Susan Wright gathered the remains of Earth's conventional fleet behind the protection of Behemoth *. Only 12 of her original 40 ships remained, but each was now fighting with renewed hope. "All vessels, focus fire on target points provided by Goliath *, she ordered. "Make every shot count." The smaller Earth ships darted between the dreadnoughts, striking at the weak points in the Arvanian shields. What had once been ineffective weapons now caused real damage as they hit precisely where the alien defenses were weakest. Admiral Zex Terrell watched in horror as his fleet began to crumble. His tactical screen showed more red alerts than he could process. Ship after ship reported critical damage or complete system failure. "This is impossible," he hissed to his second-in-command. Where did these human vessels come from? How could they hide such technology from our scouts? There was no answer. The Arvanian Empire had never faced defeat before. They had no protocols for retreat. Finally, Zex Terrell made his decision. Order all remaining ships to form a defensive sphere around the flagship. We're withdrawing from this system. 28 Arvanian vessels, all that remained of his once mighty fleet, moved to protect their admiral's ship. They began to pull away from Saturn, accelerating toward the edge of the solar system. Commander Paul Scott sensed their retreat through Leviathan's sensors. The enemy flagship is attempting to escape, he reported. Permission to pursue. General William Taylor, now in the Lunar Command Center with Olivia Barnes, considered for only a moment. Permission granted. Leviathan and Goliath pursue and capture if possible. Destroy if necessary. We can't let them report back to their empire about our dreadnoughts. Paul acknowledged the order. Leviathan and Goliath broke away from the main battle, their gravity drives propelling them after the fleeing Arvanian flagship at incredible speed. The hunt was on. The predator had become the prey. Leviathan and Goliath chased the Arvanian flagship toward the edge of the solar system. Commander Paul Scott felt his ship's powerful engines pushing him faster than any human vessel had traveled before. Through his neural link, he sensed rather than saw Captain Steve Peterson's Goliath keeping pace beside him. They're heading for the heliopause, Steve reported, referring to the boundary where the solar system ended and interstellar space began. If they reach it, they could activate their long-range jump drives. Paul nodded. Though no one could see the gesture, we can't let them escape to warn their empire about the dreadnoughts. The Arvanian flagship, still protected by its remaining escort vessels, pushed its engines to maximum. Admiral Zex Terrell stood on his bridge, his 4 eyes fixed on the rear sensors showing the pursuing human dreadnoughts. Faster, he hissed to his crew. We must reach the jump point. One of his officers approached with fear evident in his posture. Admiral, we're detecting unusual energy readings from the human vessels. They appear to be charging their main weapons. Zex Terrell turned to his weapons officer. Prepare the dimensional collapse device. The officer's eyes widened. But sir, that weapon was only to be used as a last resort. It could destroy the entire solar system. This is a last resort, the Admiral snapped. If we can't have this system, neither will they. Begin the charging sequence. On Goliath Steve's enhanced sensors detected the energy buildup in the Arvanian flagship. They're preparing some kind of super weapon, he warned. Energy readings are off the charts. Paul made a split-second decision. We strike now, together. Combine gravitational beam on my mark. Both dreadnought commanders aligned their ships, charging their main weapons. The neural links allowed them to coordinate with perfect precision. 3, 2, 1, mark. Paul called. Twin beams of concentrated gravitational energy shot from the Earth vessels, combining into a single, more powerful stream. The attack hit the Arvanian flagship dead center, bypassing its shields through the weakness Goliath had identified earlier. Space itself seemed to bend around the alien vessel. The massive ship began to compress, folding inward like paper being crushed in a giant hand. Admiral Zex Terrell screamed as his flagship collapsed into a singularity smaller than a pinhead. The singularity pulsed once, twice, then evaporated in a flash of energy that disabled the remaining Arvanian escort ships. Target destroyed. Paul reported back to Earth Command. The Arvanian flagship has been eliminated. In the solar system behind them, the remaining Arvanian forces witnessed their admiral's destruction. Without central command, their coordinated attack fell apart. Ship by ship, they began to power down weapons and send surrender signals. On Earth, people emerged from their underground shelters to see Arvanian ships either retreating or being captured by Earth forces. The Juggernaut and Colossus maintained positions in Earth orbit. their massive forms visible as dark shadows against the blue sky. In the Lunar Command Center, General William Taylor received confirmation of total victory. He turned to Olivia Barnes, who looked exhausted but relieved. "You did it," he said simply. "Your dreadnoughts saved Earth." Olivia shook her head. "The pilots saved Earth. I just built the tools." 1 week later, Earth began rebuilding. The 6 dreadnoughts, now revealed to the public, became symbols of humanity's ingenuity and determination. The neural-linked pilots were celebrated as heroes, though most people noticed something different about them. The permanent connection to their ships had changed them in ways that made them seem not quite human anymore. As Earth's leaders debated what to do with the captured Arvanian technology, an emergency transmission reached them from Alpha Centauri colony, which had been out of contact for weeks. "This is Governor Alan Mason of Alpha Centauri colony. We've encountered another alien civilization, more advanced than the Arvanians. They call themselves the Dorvan Collective. They're asking about Earth, and they don't seem friendly. We need immediate assistance." In the docking bay where the 6 dreadnoughts rested, Commander Paul Scott felt the call through his neural link. Earth had survived one invasion, but another threat was already emerging. "Prepare for deployment," he told his fellow pilots. "We're needed again." The dreadnought's engines began to power up. This time, Earth wouldn't be caught unprepared. This time, humanity would meet any threat with the full might of its most powerful weapons. The age of the dreadnoughts had only just begun.